In the next installment of Newsmax special series, Broken Governments Now, Greta is diving into the treacherous trip migrants are making through Central America, and especially through the dangerous Darien Gap that you see here. But who exactly is coming? The answer is many of these migrants are coming from all around the globe.
While in Necoclí, we met migrants from Venezuela, Brazil, Haiti, Burkina Faso, Somalia, Ecuador, the Middle East, China, and more, all trying to make their way to our southern border. They each had their own stories about how they got to Necoclí, and they each shared the same hope for a better life in the United States. Each was willing, knowingly or unknowingly, to risk danger and possible death to make it.
How come, if I can get a ticket today, how come there's so many people here?
Y si de pronto, ¿por qué hay tantas personas acá?
Muchas personas quieren migrar.
It's because a lot of people here want to migrate, and they're wanting to know more information as to how much it costs. A lot of people come here with not a lot of information, and so they're here to ask how much it is. Do I have enough, and what is the trek?
Okay, but if everybody had the money today, they all can't go today.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So what do you do with those people?
Las personas que vemos
Todas estas personas viajan hoy. Todas estas personas viajan hoy, sino que es que no lo podemos sacar todos juntos. Toca sacar embarcaciones de 70 en 70.
Okay, entonces en un barco solo cabe 70 personas.
Entonces vamos evacuando.
Okay.
Vamos evacuando. Ya alrededor de las 10, 11 de la mañana ya se ha evacuado todo.
Okay, so you're saying that these people all here gathered are actually going to leave today from
Okay, good. All right.
And so there's just different rounds of boats that take them.
Here you see all the people here. They're getting ready to leave, to board one of the boats to go across the water to begin the walk on the Darien Gap. But take a look at it. Here they are. You can see them all. They're all lining up. These are the so-called lucky ones. They're the ones who got the tickets to get on this boat. They have no idea what's going to meet them on the other end. The Darien Gap, the jungle, the most dangerous trek in all of the world. But here they are. They're hoping to get to Mexico, the United States. They don't know. A lot of them don't even know what to expect with the Darien Gap. You're pregnant?
¿Estás embarazada? Sí.
How many months?
¿Cuántos meses? 5.
Why did you leave Venezuela?
Porque es que se fueron de Venezuela.
Eso está muy duro allá. Allá me escondían.
How old are you?
¿Cuántos años tienes?
No, 20.
20.
So are you worried about your family as you travel on to the Darien Gap?
No, estamos bien ya para pasar, estamos relajados.
Do you know how dangerous it is?
¿Conocen de los peligros de pronto?
No conocemos nada.
So you have 3 children with no father helping, a son with a medical condition, you're traveling alone, and you've been robbed, and you still want to go forward.
I'm not feeling my best, but I'm getting my strength from my kids.
Where are you going?
He wants to migrate to the United States.
Why do you want to go there?
For a future, for a better opportunity for his family.
What's wrong with Venezuela? Why don't you stay there?
¿Cómo lo hace duro? ¿Qué son algunas de las dificultades que la gente está atravesando? In Venezuela, the situation is so difficult. There isn't anything for us. There's no work, and it's difficult to continue living there.
Why haven't you gotten on a boat so far?
They're still collecting enough money to be able to get the purchase the boat ticket.
How much is that going to cost?
He's mentioning that he's not sure about how much it is, but right now they're just focusing on trying to collect enough money.
How do you get money?
Just trying to find any different ways to be able to get money by selling candies, car washing, helping with parking,
How much have you earned since you've been here?
¿Y cuánto de pronto han logrado recolectar hasta este punto?
Poco. No, dinero. Lo que no podía hacer es hacer solo para mantener los alimentos.
Very little. What they have been able to make has been for food.
Do you have a job skill? Do you have a job?
¿Tienes una ocupación? ¿A qué te dedicas? ¿O te dedicarías? He said, I am a circus man. I could do all these sorts of performances.
A circus man? Like a real circus man? Like what?
He could do the tightrope and...
Really? What kind of education do you want?
¿Qué tipo de educación te gustaría obtener en Estados Unidos?
Como estudiar, terminar mi año y salir adelante y estudiar para ser abogado.
Why do you want to be a lawyer?
¿Por qué te gustaría ser abogado?
Porque me gustan mucho los derechos y siempre me han gustado los derechos y desde pequeño soñé ser abogado. Y siempre me han gustado los derechos.
Are you worried at all about this journey?
¿Estás de pronto algo preocupado, ansioso de lo que te espera si es que llegas a Darién?
Pues siento como un mínimo temorcito porque sé que lo con que me va a encontrar, pero no pierdo la fe ni las esperanzas de llegar y lograrlo.
Necoclí has gone from a beachfront resort town to the staging ground for migrants attempting to make the treacherous journey through the Darien Gap between Panama and Colombia. According to the United Nations, so far this year, more than 100,000 migrants have made the trek to reach the United States. About 2,200 Chinese migrants were among those crossing the Darien Gap in the first 2 months of 2023. That's a sharp increase compared to the same time last year. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
All right, and Greta also spoke with former acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner and Newsmax senior law enforcement analyst Mark Morgan. Take a listen.
Sir, thank you very much for joining me.
You bet. Thanks, Greta.
When was the last time you were at the border?
It was just a few weeks ago.
How do you describe it?
This is how it is the worst border security crisis, Greta, we've seen in our lifetime. It literally is the wild, wild west. We have handed a large area of our southwest border over to the cartels. They now have operational control, not us.
Do you think Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas agrees with you?
No. But, Greta, I'm going to be straightforward with you. He's lying. And look, you don't even have to take my word for it. Just a few weeks ago, the chief of the United States Border Patrol, who spent 30 years of his life on the border, serving this country, under oath, he says exactly what I said. We do not have operational control. Our borders are not secure. And this week, the secretary basically said the chief is lying.
Why is he saying this? I mean, we've all been down to the border and looked at it, and so it's a little bit baffling. I mean, I was just in Necoclí, which is at the bottom of this sort of long line that leads first from Colombia to Darien Gap to Mexico. But you know, why is he saying this?
At the end of the day, right now, if he admits it, then he's admitted everything that this administration is doing from a policy perspective has been wrong and it's failed. I think he's in a position now, he can't do that now. I mean, I think we should, as American people, that we deserve more from a cabinet-level official. You and I were talking. It's one thing to disagree with policy, but you can't lie to the American people and lie to Congress under oath. That's exactly what he's doing. I think now he's pushed himself into the corner. He's got no choice but to continue to lie, because once he stops, he has to admit the disaster that he has been a part of.
Okay, he's part of the Biden administration. You have also served in the Obama administration. What was your position in the Obama administration?
I was, you know, Greta, I appreciate you asking. A lot of people forget I was actually chief of the United States Border Patrol under the Obama administration.
So what is the difference between a President Obama and a President Biden on this?
A completely different philosophy. I think under the Obama administration, they still knew and understood that what's happening on the southwest border is not about immigration. It's about border security. And so they still recognized and believed that for our nation to be safe and secure, we have to have secure borders. Remember, it was Jay Johnson, who was the Secretary of Homeland Security under President Obama. That's the man I worked for. Remember what he used to say? He said, 1,000 illegal aliens a day is a bad day. We're at 7,000 to 8,000 today. And I knew 1,000 a day was bad then because it is, and I worked for him. And it was a bad day for me when we had 1,000. So we were actually trying to implement policies that stopped illegal immigration while trying to get better facilitating legal immigration because they knew it was about border security.
So it's not necessarily so much a Democrat-Republican thing, because you have President Obama and President Biden, who was the vice president to President Obama, having very different approaches to this.
Right. I think it's this administration. And I think what's happened, the border now, Greta, has become so politicized that now there's no in between. There's no common ground. Again, this week I've seen the testimony of Secretary Mayorkas, and there's no common ground. No one is being honest. It's from my position, from the Democratic side. Again, how can you have a chief of the United States Border Patrol, position I held, say our border is not secure and the cartels have operational control, and the secretary says the exact opposite? Somebody's lying, and I'm telling you, Greta, it's Secretary Mayorkas that's lying.
You know, it's sort of interesting. The other day, he was last week. Questioned by Senator Ted Cruz, and he didn't know about the bracelets that all the cartels put on the wrist to, and that was rather shocking. I mean, you go on YouTube; it's been on there for or Google it. Right. Was he lying about that, or doesn't he know?
This is what I think. I don't think Secretary Mayorkas is a politician. I think he's an ideologue. And I think that's another difference between this administration and the Obama administration, is this convergence of typical politics and ideologues that are driven simply from their ideology. I think he believes in open borders. And so I think when you do that, everything that he sees happening at the border, he sees it through that prism. So I think there's some things he honestly doesn't know, other things he knows he's lying. The bracelets, Greta, come on, you've seen it. I don't know how. And remember, he was the deputy secretary. When I was chief of the Border Patrol, he was the deputy secretary of DHS. He's seen this. There's no way he doesn't know that.
Why do you think President Biden doesn't ask for his resignation if he is deceitful, as you say?
I think that, again, if the president does that, then I think that's also a tacit acknowledgement that we have a crisis. This is the Secretary of Administration that still to this day refuses to say what's happened on our southwest border, a crisis. Meanwhile, 100,000 Americans have died from drug overdoses. We know there's been 1.4 million known gotaways where there's murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and gang members among them.
The rape and murders are incredible. I mean, the numbers are staggering.
And Greta, you saw yourself in Darien Gap how horrific that is. We have literally sent out a beacon to the entire world. It's worth risking your life. It's worth being raped, because if you get to the United States, we're going to allow you in, never be heard from again. That's what every migrant around the world is hearing from 171 different countries.
Could we secure that border?
Yes, absolutely. Now, I think it's very important. The 2000 Secure Fence Act defines what a secure border is. Now, here's where I will agree. I think that's an impossible standard, but here's what. We should try. And I think under the Trump administration, I'm calling balls and strikes. We had the most secure border in our lifetime, and every day was getting more secure. There are absolutely policy-driven things that we can do to secure the border.
Sir, thank you very much for joining me.
You bet. Thanks, Greta.